Hey cats, what's happening? Yeah, we're going to pick up where we left off the other night, but first order of business today. Actually, it'll be a day late for you guys. Happy heavenly birthday to my wife, Vee. She passed away on the 13th of last month, and today, the 10th, which was yesterday for you guys, is her birthday. So I'm going to go out and have a nice dinner tonight and celebrate her life. Just me. But back to the windshield thing. I guess I should have been a little more clear in the video. But when you're working on the bike, you guys have all been there. You're doing the job and you're like, just leave me alone. I'm busy. I'm thinking right now. I'm busy right now. Try and make a video while you're working on the bike. Some of you guys do that. Make videos when you're working on your bike, and it's not easy, and you leave things out. For instance, one of the very first things I thought of was, I'll just take the brackets off of this windshield and put it on this windshield. Well, that didn't work. This one has a 3-bolt pattern. This has a 4-bolt pattern. So I would have had to drill holes in my new windshield, and no, I'm not going to do that. The other thing I wasn't about to do was to cut the light bar bracket. I know better than that, and that's why I said I got to stop right now and just think about it, and that's what I did. I went in the house, I called Dennis Kirk, and I said, here's my problem. I think I have the wrong bracket. And I didn't feel so bad because it took the guy quite a while to figure out what the right bracket was. And I was correct. There was a different bracket for it. And I just got that today. So here's the right bracket, and you'll see that the lower joints there are angled. So it should fit on, and it does say on this package, I thought it said somewhere on this package that right here in small print for use with light bar. So the other one didn't say that. We got the right one now. So I'm not going to do that today though. And I'm not going to put that in my video today. But you guys know when you work on your bike, it can get really frustrating sometimes. And things can go downhill really quick. You can bust off bolts or strip out threads. You can get parts that are the wrong part that you don't realize until you've got the whole thing taken apart, and then it's like, well, this isn't going to work. So, it happens. It happens to all of us. But I did the right thing. I stopped before I went too far, and I went in and I got on the phone and I got in the right direction. But it reminded me back of a story of a while ago when I was in a group at the biker bar. We had a ragtag club we called the Cats. And I think there was about maybe 8 of us that were somewhat like originals. And then, as other bikers would come in there, they'd all want to be part of this club. We'd go on rides together. We'd traveled a lot. I even rode out west with some of the guys. I rode to the East Coast with some of the guys. We were kind of a tight-knit group. But, then these other bikers would come in the bar and they'd all want to be a member of that club. And, we had our secret handshake. And they'd watch and they'd see the secret handshake. So then they'd come up and they'd try to give me the secret handshake, and I wasn't allowed to give them the secret handshake. That was no, that was only for club members. You couldn't do that with just anybody. And so they'd be a little appalled when I just gave them the standard handshake. And they'd be like, come on, man, ain't you a cat? Yeah, but you're not. Anyway, it's all part of the fun of the biker culture, It can get pretty wild sometimes. At any rate, there was one of the guys there that was a cat, and he wasn't like one of the originals, but he came on board a little later. And I think he was from down south, Tennessee or something like that. But he was a good old boy. He was a big fella. And he he wasn't the brightest light bulb in the bank, if you know what I'm saying. Um, but I liked him. I kind of felt for him in a way. He had hooked up with one of the biker bar hoochies and fell in love with her. And unfortunate for him, she was not in love with him at all and didn't want anything to do with him. And he followed her around like a puppy dog, and she just put him off, and he got pretty hurt about it. And he drank really heavy. He drank a lot. Well, like I said, I befriended him, and so he calls me up one day and he says, Mark, could you come on over and help me work on my bike? I got some new grips I'm gonna put on there. I said, yeah, okay, I'll be over. So I rode the scooter over to his. He had a little rental house. It was just like a little cottage. It wasn't much, and when you went in there, he didn't have anything. I mean, there was like no furniture in there, maybe a folding chair to sit on, and a TV in the corner, and a folding table in the kitchen with a half full cold stale cup of coffee or something. That was Dave. But he had this little garage, and he pushed the bike out into the gravel driveway there. He brought out the kit, and it was in a pack like this. There was like two brand new hand grips. They were like supposed to be alligator, but they were tan colored. I mean, these are black, and they're I don't know what they are. These kind of look like almost like a lizard skin or something. But they're fake, they're faux, it's not real leather on there. And I'm not sure where he got his grips from or how he came about getting them. But he was all excited to put them on his bike, and I personally thought they looked kind of mismatched, like they were like a tan color, like a saddle brown color. And I thought, that doesn't even go with your bike. It just kind of looks weird. But he wanted them on there. That's what he wanted. So I helped him take the old grips off. And of course, they don't come off easy. You gotta kind of know what you're doing when you take them off. If you try to pull on them, generally they're not going to come off. You really have to work them to get them off. And then with the new ones, there's a method to putting the new ones on too. Well, right away he grabs the thing and he's trying to cram it on there, and I'm saying, no, Dave, you got to get a little bit of soap and water and put on there, and then they'll slip right on there. And then you just let them sit for like 24 hours, and that soap will eventually dry up in there, and they'll be on there pretty semi-permanently. But he didn't want to listen to me, and he just kept trying to put them on there. Well, I says, let me take a look at it. And I took the thing, and I stuck it up there, and I thought, that the diameter of his handlebar looked actually bigger than the diameter on the hand grip. And I told him, I said, I don't know where you got these hand grips, but I don't think they're the right size for your handlebars. They look like they're too small. And he wasn't going to hear it. He bought these things, and he was going to put them on his bike no matter what, and there's nothing that I was going to tell him that was going to tell me no, they're going to fit on there. You just got to push them on there. And he kept trying to push them and jam them. Pretty soon he was like hitting them, like trying to smash them on there as hard as he could. And that wasn't working either. Well, Dave had an anger issue. He had an anger problem, and his anger started to come out. The more he tried to fit those grips on there, the more he started to booger them up and destroy them, where even if he put them on there, they were going to look like they were beat up. He was hammering on them with a board. It was. And then he got so angry, he just threw them in his garage as hard as he could. He started throwing things, kicking the bike, just going completely berserk. I mean, his anger level just escalated very quickly, out of control, like totally out of control. Well, I realized at that point I wasn't going to be of any more help to him. I tried to console him, try to calm him down, but it wasn't working. He just got more and more angry. He went in the garage and started throwing things around. I just got back on my bike, fired the Harley up, and took off. And I said, you know what? I'll come back later when he cools down. Well, I don't think I ever went back over to his house after that I can remember. Because it wasn't too long after that Dave got in trouble. I don't remember exactly what he did, but he got in big trouble with the law. And rather than standing up and dealing with it, he borrowed somebody's trailer, loaded up his bike, and hooked it up to his ragtag pickup truck. And one day he just disappeared. Bike, trailer, pickup truck, and left the rental place. And that was the last that anybody ever heard from him. It's my guess that he went back down to Tennessee or, headed south somewhere, trying to dodge the law. I suppose they had a warrant on him, and whatever happened to him, I don't know. Maybe he ended up in the clink. I don't know if he's even still around anymore. But, yeah, when things don't fit, don't force them. Don't go overboard. Don't get the cutting wheel out. There's usually a reason why it doesn't fit. And, if you like your machine and you want to take good care of it, stop, take a breath, take a deep breath, walk away, and think about it for a while. And you'll come up with a solution, or you'll find somebody else that can help you come up with a solution for it. So this is a pretty simple fix, yeah. I just had the wrong brackets for my windshield. Memphis Shades windshields, they're top of the line, they're good windshields. You'll see this one's tinted. My original one was clear. A couple guys said, why didn't you just cut the old windshield off and shorten it? And I thought about that, but this windshield has seen a lot of road wear, and if you look at it up close, there's a lot of scratches and scrapes in it. And then at one point, way back when, somebody said, put that, what do you call it, the windshield, Windex stuff? It's not Windex. The stuff that makes the water shear off of it. And he squirted it on my windshield and wiped it all off, and he said, there, now when the rain hits it, the water will just go off it like a duck's back. Well, it damaged the plexiglass. I mean, it really damaged it bad. I had to buff and buff and buff and buff this thing to get it where I could see through it again. I mean, it just made it where you couldn't even hardly see through it. And then I found out the hard way, but you should never use that stuff on your Rain-X or whatever it's called, on your plexiglass. It's okay for glass, but you don't want to put it on plexiglass. So anyway, I like the height of this windshield, and I thought, man, if I cut it down, that's taking a risk, because plexiglass, unless you have to be real careful cutting it, because it can like chip or crack if you don't use the right type of cutting wheel, or you can melt the plastic. So I thought, well, you know what? I'm just going to leave that. And then I thought, I'm just going to buy another windshield. And this is a shorty. It's a lot shorter. And it's tinted. So I think it's going to look pretty cool on here when I get it mounted. But like I said, not going to hook it on there today. And one more thing. I got a 1/4-inch drive click torque wrench, brand new, in the box, from Ray, from Butler, Pennsylvania. Ray, thank you so much. You know what? I was going to go out and buy this the very next day, and I get this package on the front porch, and I go, what the heck is this? And I look at it, and it's from Ray. And I open it up, and I'm like, good thing I didn't run out and buy it, because he got one for me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I sure appreciate that. I haven't even opened it yet, but I will when I get to working on this again, because I have that old antique torque wrench, and this inch-pound torque drive will be, quarter-inch drive will be very handy for me and much easier to use, much more accurate, I think. So I'm looking forward to that. All right, cats, that's all I got today. Like I said, I'm going to head into town and celebrate my wife's birthday somehow, somewhere, get a good meal. It's 42 degrees inside the shed here today, and it's in the 30s outside. I got a fire going in the house. It's nice and warm in there, and it's comfortable enough out here to work, so I don't have a problem with that. But a little too chilly to go for a ride right now, unless you bundled up like you're on a snowmobile. One thing for sure though, it hasn't snowed yet. There's no salt on the roads, so I can ride if I want to. Well, I'm going to shut things down here and head on in. But thanks for joining me today. I appreciate it. Thanks for all your prayers and support too. I appreciate that more than you can understand. And thanks for your comments. I mean, I know I must have got 100 comments saying, just switch out the brackets and put them on the new windshield. And that wasn't going to work, but I didn't say that in the video, so thank you for your advice anyways. I always appreciate the advice, no matter what, because sometimes it's very helpful for me. I'll always take good advice and criticism too, because it helps us to grow and become better people. Well, anyway, thanks for watching. Give the video a thumbs up if you haven't yet. Please subscribe and continue to follow me for this ride. Until next time, cats, ride hard and die free.